I need to drill and tap the 4 mounting holes that hold the chuck onto the back plate. As you can see, we can get them in those 4 positions there and they won't be affected by any of these holes. So that simply goes like that. I'm going to line up jaw number 1 with a keyway on the plate for no other reason than it's there. Right, so that goes onto there like that. The other retaining bolts, they're actually 3/8 Whitworth. I thought they were UNC, but they're not, they're Whitworth. So we'll clamp this down, centralise the holes and get them drilled and tapped. I've got 1 bolt in the centre, that'll be more than enough to hold it. So now we need to line up the centre of that hole with the centre of the chuck. There's some unbelievably complicated ways of doing it, but there is also some nice simple ways. As always, we'll go for the simple way. All I'm going to do is put that countersink into that hole, which will automatically line it up. It can't be anything else but lined up. Tighten up with clamp bolt. Right, that's got to be lined up. It can't be anything else. I'll do it again from a different angle. Right, I'll do it again. That's free to move. That could be a Morse taper in there with a point on. Anything with a nice accurate point on, which that countersink has. That goes into there, and you simply tighten up your clamp bolt. That's it lined up. You could lock the table off on the mill, but we're just drilling the hole, it's not necessary. If you wanted to check it, make sure it hasn't moved. So you turn that by hand. It's cutting all the way around that hole, bang on in the centre. The tap and drill 4 3/8 Whitworth is 7.9mm. That's an 8mm drill, that'll be perfectly alright. Cast iron's normally machine dry, it's self-lubricating to a certain extent. I've got a selection of 3/8 Whitworth taps. I used that one last week to machine some bronze, so to put some threads in some bronze, so it should be alright for cutting this. Most decent quality taps have got a little centre mark in the end, specifically for putting a centre in to keep them straight. That simply goes into the hole, that goes into a drill chuck. A little bit of weight on there, and all I'm doing is using that centre point just to keep the tap straight. Some of your smaller taps haven't got a centre drill mark in there, they've got a domed end. So you do the opposite, you have a reverse centre, a countersunk hole in there, and that goes over the top of your tap. Cast iron, it's very soft, and this is a way to go tap actually. Before I take it apart, I just want to mark the chuck on the back plate. Remember, we'll put number 1 against the keyway, so we'll mark number 1 again, which is a mark on there and a mark on there. That's all it takes. Right, take it apart. Just finished tapping these holes on the milling table as a vise. Just going to knock any rags off, just gently deburr each hole. Broken to a... I thought one of them wasn't drilling very well. It's broken to a porous part on the casting. I wish I'd moved them round to there now, but no, I mean, I'm sure it'll tighten down alright. Right, well, number one jaw. That one goes to the keyway, which is also stamp number one. So that goes like that. Bit of tight fit this. So those heads are a good fit in there. So obviously I have drilled them in the middle. Bastard. There you are, it's perfect. And it will make a touch the job. If it was a 3-jaw chuck, I would have left the register smaller, and you can bump the chuck around to get it spot on. But being a 4-jaw, it doesn't really make a bit of a difference. So I'll have to make some chuck keys for this now, because I give them away with me. The chuck keys went when I sold me the lathe. My wife Debs is on holiday. A lot of people think that when their wives go on holiday, all the lads do is live on beer and crisps and pies. Well, some people do, but I don't. I like to cook for myself and cook properly. And I do like fish, so what I've done, I've been and bought a bit of nice fresh fish, a bit of haddock, and I'm going to cook that in the oven. can buy frozen, had it with butter on and do it in the oven, but it's not the same. This is proper fish. Right. Aluminium foil. I mean, look at that. That's a real nice fillet of fish. It even smells like fish. Beautiful. We're going to season it. A little bit of salt. Some people put pepper on, I don't. I'm going to put a little bit of butter onto it. Not margarine, butter, real butter. Oh yeah, bastard. Right, so we've got some butter on it, some salt. We'll put some more on. Right. Make a small, like a little tray. Keep all of these juices in and all the butter in when it cooks. Crunch the ends up like that. Right, so it's wrapped up like a pasty with space on the top so it can steam itself. This goes into a preheated oven at 180 degrees for about 15 minutes. You haven't got to have chips with fish. I've got some nice baby new potatoes here. They're already prepared in parsley and butter. You simply do them in the microwave, just put a couple of holes in there, 7 minutes on full power, that's then done. Right, this is cooked. Beautiful. Now we're going to try and get it on the plate out. Hope you're hard to watching this at having your supper, because this is going to be good. Two potatoes up, being suitably microwaved. Oh dear me. This is definitely better than a pie from. Oh. Just make sure it's up to the required standard. That's amazing.
That's an engine. Yeah, how's the hell would that get into a train? Don't.
It pushes and goes quickly, doesn't it? That's what it's underneath. It's just like this is a carriage. Oh, just so you can keep up the end.
working harness, you don't clap them up like this every day. You do that, you know.
Must be Johnny.
Mind of knowledge, man. Mind of knowledge. We'll go back here.
I've made a chuck key for that 4-jaw chuck. I've made the body out of silver steel so I can temper it. See, it's magnetic. Strange things happen to silver steel, to any steel when they heat it up. When they get to a certain temperature, they lost that magnetic attraction. That's the time you quench them in water or oil, in this case water, and that will make the part fully hard. So hard in fact it'll be brittle, it will just break. Then we heat it up. Watch the colours change in the, you'll see the colours change as it warms up. I'm looking for a bluey purple colour, and I'll quench it in the oil. Just ordinary 1040 car engine oil. You'll warm it up. Hopefully you'll see it change colour, but you'll definitely be able to tell when it loses its magnetic attraction. Right, we'll warm it up and put it into play. Basically all at once this end bit here is a bit we're going to be warming up. Heat it faster, just melt it from the water pot. The heat's got in the corner and down the dash. It's starting to get warm now. Hopefully you can see it's not magnetic anymore. Right, so now that should be it. Right, so the end that wasn't heated up, you can file, and that end, you can hear it sliding with the file. Absolutely glass hard. soft, hard, hot. I'll go and wire brush it, clean it up, make it nice and shiny and silver. I'll get some oil and we'll temper it. In the good old days, I used to use some wonderful concoctions for tempering with, whale oil and whatnot. I've got some 1040 semi-synthetic oil there. I think that'll do the job for what I want. Right, I'm going to warm this up. I'm going to heat here, and you'll slowly see the colours start to go up. When this end here turns a nice darkish blue, that's when I'm going to quench it in the oil. I'll leave the camera zoomed in so you can see the colours change. So we're watching for this end here changing colour. Colours are starting to go up there now. Now it's gone blue where the heat is. Colours are now going up. Got the blue colour there, that's what I want right on the tip. It's nearly there. Right, now for the oil. You can use water, but I find I get a better job using oil. Certainly puts a nicer colour onto it. When I was at the steam rally last weekend, I met up with an American gentleman called Peter Cath. Peter and his wife Vicky. Peter is across here on holiday. They were actually stopping at Glasgow and they were touring around the country a bit. I've spoken to Peter quite a bit through the internet. Peter watches my channel, and we had arranged to meet up at the steam rally, which we did. It was really interesting to meet somebody you've spoke to on the internet. It seemed difficult to talk. People have got a keypad each and talk through computers. Anyway, it was great to meet you, Peter, and your beautiful wife, Vicky. I hope you got home alright, and I hope you enjoyed your visit to England. I hope to meet you again one day. Thanks very much. As usual, I'd just like to say to everybody who's watched and supported my channel, thanks very much, especially for all the support that's coming towards Dave, my wife. It's still coming in. Messages of thanks and absolutely fantastic from all over the world. Gifts, it really is. It's been brilliant. Deb's as well on the mend now, as far as on the mend can be from what's wrong with her. Like I say, she's back from her holidays tomorrow. I'm looking forward to that because I have missed her and I'm not frightened to admit it. Anyway, thanks once again.